Hello, my darlings. This is Maria. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to see more videos like this one. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to heal and unblock your throat chakra, your center of self-expression, your center of personal truth, to unblock and heal your voice, and the part of your body that enables you to live a happier life. If we are not aligned, if our throat chakra is blocked, we often feel out of power. We feel misaligned with our own resource. We often feel disconnected from ourselves, from others, and from our higher aspects. We often feel disconnected from our higher self, from the angels, the higher realms. We often feel lost. I find that on planet Earth right now, the throat chakra wound is quite deep. It is excruciatingly deep in women, but it is also deep in men. I find that even when we express ourselves, we don't do so lovingly. We do so from a place of hurt. We do so from a place of needing to protect ourselves. We do so from a place of following a template and a pattern and not necessarily following our own path. So we are all deeply conditioned and programmed, and now is the time to finally start shedding the old snakeskin, to finally start claiming our true voice, our true sense of self-expression, and our true limitless belief in the fact that our way that we feel deep in our hearts matters and has validity, and that we all came here to express our own uniqueness. So the first way to unblock your throat chakra is to talk to yourself kindly. I find that the people who have the wounding around the throat space are the people that have the loudest inner critic. Because your navigation system is a little bit broken when your throat is not operating properly, all kinds of negative byproducts result from that, including your inner critic. Because you don't see the way, you always second guess yourself, you always doubt yourself. And that is why practicing talking to yourself kindly as if you were your most beloved child or your best friend would go a long way. Some of the most spiritual people I have met in my life have been the most intentional with their communication. They would never speak ill of themselves or others because they understand the power of words. They understand that by criticizing someone, or by playing to their own insecurities, or even confirming somebody's insecurity, we are acting against them in some degree. We are therefore affirming their smallness. And so some of the best spiritual leaders, some of the best spiritual people that I know would never use their voice in order to do that. Our voice is a powerful tool. Our voice is a gift. It is a means of manifesting. That is why God created the universe with the word, with the power of logos, the power of language. And I find that very often we are so disconnected from the truth that we believe that how we speak to ourselves doesn't matter. I'll tell you, it's exactly the opposite. So make it a habit. Practice kindness to yourself. You may even start a kindness journal for yourself, where every morning you would give yourself compliments. You would talk really nicely to yourself and about yourself, and do the same thing at night, because it's like a sandwich. You need 2 pieces of bread in the morning and the evening to change the pattern. Right? So I know a lot of people keep gratitude journals, but try keeping a kindness journal for yourself and watch your life transform. Also, if your inner critic is too loud, you may opt for lowering the volume of that inner critic, because an inner critic is a thought frequency. It's a thought frequency that you have aligned with because you are vibrating at that thought frequency, potentially of not being loving towards yourself. The more you tune into that frequency, the louder it becomes. And so I urge you to practice lowering down the volume on that frequency. The second way to unblock and heal your throat chakra is to practice responding. Very often when people are truly blocked, they feel that there is going to be a repercussion. There's going to be a negative consequence for them stating the truth, for them speaking their mind. Very often it comes from a history. Either it's a familial history where a lot of people didn't feel safe to speak the truth. They felt like they had to hide under a guise or a mask. Or it could come from your own past lives and your own experiences where you potentially got hurt or persecuted for saying what it is that you believed. And then there is a lot of that coming up for the humanity collectively. So practice responding. I find this very often in conflict situations. Somebody with a blocked throat center is going to not feel empowered to express in the right way. So either they would completely close down and not say anything, or they wouldn't say much. It's just like kind of like eating things up, eating all of the, the negativity that somebody's pouring your way up and like not defending yourself. And that is something that people with a blocked throat do very often. That is extremely unhealthy, you guys, because essentially instead of repelling that negativity, you're making it part of your own and you're accepting it. It is really important to stand up for yourself, extremely. And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to practice responding. If you cannot respond in the moment, after the argument, create a journal of responding and respond to that person in writing as if you're talking to them. The most important part is that that communication goes out of you in whichever way, shape, or form. You may also create a voice memo for yourself. That could be another thing that you choose to do. Third way that you could heal your throat center is look into the past life trauma around expression. You may choose to do a past life regression. I have meditations around how to do past life regressions on my podcast with a specific intention and an ask from the universe to show you a life where your personal self-expression was hindered or where you suffered as a result of your opinions and beliefs. Very often it would come in expressing your opinions around spirituality, right? So the witch wound, right? Like, and it is so prevalent in women, right? Where we were supposed to be seen and not heard. And, just there's layers, there's generational sediment and waste and pattern that we have to work through around women not expressing themselves. But it's not like masculinity is perfectly healed either. So whatever, whatever gender you are, this can still be a problem for you. So once you find a past life, or even if it was an issue, like a traumatic experience around self-expression where it wasn't safe for you to speak your truth, like you said something and then you got punished for it. There is an exercise that you can do, which is called rewriting your story or rewriting the past. As you well know, time is a very arbitrary construct. Very often you would hear a lot of spiritual leaders say time is not real and everything always happens in the now. How essentially this quality, this property of time could be used in healing. Because by you rewriting a particular story or event from the past today, the past shifts and it's as if the trauma never happened. Now, of course, there are various degrees of trauma. There are some degrees of trauma that are impossible to heal with this modality. But I would say a good 70 to 80% of traumatic experiences could be, if not completely healed, then significantly diminished via the process of rewriting your own story or rewriting your own past. So here's how you would do it. You'd take out a piece of paper. And you would allot like a good hour for this exercise, maybe more. You would sit down and you would think back to the day that traumatic experience happened. Or if you saw a past life, you may think back to that life. And then you would start your story from scratch, like rewriting it the way that you wished it has happened, or it had happened, right? And instead of writing in the trauma, writing the healing, right? So for instance, write in the story where you said something and instead of being punished for it, good things came out of it. You were recognized for speaking the truth, or somebody was better off because you spoke up. And just write that story in a lot of detail. The amount of detail really matters. The more details you can put into your story, the more real it becomes. And literally, once you finish that last sentence and put a full stop at the end of it, it is as good as written. And that is how you rewrite trauma and use this property of time. Of happening, everything always happening at the same time, past, present, and future, to your advantage. The fourth way to heal and unblock your throat is actually purely energetic. It's a purely energetic exercise. When we say a blocked throat chakra. We actually meet it. So energetically, it feels like there is a cork. Do you guys know like a champagne cork? It just like literally puts a damper, puts a stop to your self-expression. And it's like right here in the middle of your throat. It's actually quite sad to watch. Some people may have some other things energetically where like their lips may be sealed or like sewn shut. Or they may not have a tongue. Like I've seen all kinds of things. So in a meditative state, you definitely want to, when you go into the meditation, you want to make sure that your mouth, your energetic mouth is not sewn shut. It is open and you have a tongue. And when I say that, I know it sounds like really out there, but you really have to get used to seeing yourself as more than the physical body. You have to start seeing yourself as an energy body. And yes, physically you may have a tongue, but if you have a traumatic experience, if you have trauma around self-expression, etherically and energetically, you may be missing a tongue. So please make sure that all of the bodily organs, once you go in a meditative state, are all present in your heart, in your throat area. And here's what you would want to do. You want to uncork yourself. So you want to remove this blockage. You want to remove this champagne cork that is corking your throat. And then you would feel like such a relief, like it's actually easier to breathe. And you didn't even realize that something was constraining and restraining you. And then you want to physically open your mouth. Just let your jaw drop, relax your mouth, close your eyes. And then you want to imagine that straight from your heart, there is a river that's rising up your throat. And as you open your mouth, I know it's a little bit gross, but not really. If you bear with me, it's a blue, beautiful river. And you want to see that river floating out of your mouth and just out of you, like a song almost. And that is the flow, a healthy flow of expression. That is a healthy flow of energy. I find with the people that are blocked, they've never experienced that. They've been so constricted, restricted, and restrained that they don't even know how a healthy water flow of communication feels like. And so I urge you to literally you would stay there for 5 to 10 minutes with your physical mouth open, enabling an energetic river flow out of your mouth, and then helping yourself with your breath. So imagine that on the inhale, there's more river that is birthed in you. And on the exhale, that river, like a bigger torrent of river comes out, and then it's just safe to express. I will tell you that the time of the persecution is over. This is the era of communication. This is the era to unblock our throats. That is why there's so many communication platforms out there. They're springing like mushrooms in the forest after the rain. All of these social media accounts are all vehicles for self-expression. So yes, create an account for yourself, even as a healing modality, and practice speaking your truth, whatever that is. No masks, not holding back. That could be another extra bonus practice for you. Fifth and final way to heal your throat chakra is aligning with the North Star. The North Star is a beautiful star in the sky. Right now, the North Star is called Polaris. The North Star is not always fixed. So there are, in the history of humanity, there are multiple different stars that shift to the position of the North Star. What is so special about the North Star? The North Star always and perpetually points to the north. This historically used to be a navigation tool that, different sailors and travelers used to navigate in lieu of, sophisticated compass devices. And so, but of course, there is a spiritual significance of the North Star, that it goes so much deeper than just trying to find the North. It's physically, it's about finding your true North spiritually. It's about aligning with your own purpose, with your own personal flavor of truth, and aligning with your own authenticity. The North Star is shining in the sky for you. It has been placed here by higher consciousness so that we all could align to what is right for us and start living the most authentic version of our truth and start aligning with our purpose and mission as well. And so I personally love connecting to the North Star. I do that anytime I'm embarking on a new journey, or I'm taking on a new project, or I just need to feel a little bit more aligned. I simply imagine the North Star in the sky in front of me. And I would draw a figure 8 connecting the center of the North Star with my third eye. And like I create this loop that goes between my third eye and the North Star. And you would find that the healing light of the North Star, once it hits you, it starts flushing all the inauthenticity out of you and starts opening the pathways to self-expression. So it's really, if you imagine that your throat is a bridge from higher chakras to lower chakras, it would start, the light of the North Star, once it penetrates your body, it starts expanding the area of your throat. It's as if your throat was a highway and all of a sudden they build additional lanes on that highway. And so now it's an expanded version of you. I also find that if you're looking to better align with your truth and feel more self-expressed, aligning to the North Star as a daily ritual and a practice could be quite healing. And also you may choose to align your furniture to the North Star as well, whether that is a working desk or a writing desk, align it to the North. How would you do that? There is a compass on all of your smartphones. There's a compass device that can tell you where your North is. Not your North, sorry, where the North is physically for planet Earth. And so ideally, if you can align your bed and, I don't know, your couch and your writing desk to the North, so you could always be facing the North Star, that would do wonders to your self-expression. That in and of itself is going to start healing your throat center. And you would find yourself over time a lot more aligned, a lot more comfortable with speaking your truth. And by the way, self-expression always leads to happiness, right? Because the one thing that makes you the most unhappy is living somebody else's life, is living a life you're not meant to live, is following the wrong path, knocking on the wrong doors, just not being where you're supposed to be. That is excruciatingly painful. And so as we are unlocking our own self-expression, we are unlocking our true happiness. By the way, I write a lot about the North Star in my book called 72 Keys to Manifestation, or An Ancient Path of a Modern Day Alchemist. So if you've enjoyed this video, you're probably going to enjoy my book. We're going to link it down here so you can check it out on Amazon. Alrighty, my loves, let me know in the comments how you have been healing your throat center and what are your specific challenges. And, I'm always happy to help. Read all of your comments. You're awesome. Sending you a big virtual hug, and I'll see you in the next one.